In this episode of the Locked On NBA Big Board podcast, it is part 2 of a 3-part series. I thought I could get it into 2 parts, but James just talks a whole lot. And so because he talks...
My bad, bro.
No, seriously, we're just having too much fun with this, and it is tough to squeeze in 30 prospects in a mock draft in one episode. So in this episode, we are going to cover James's prospects 11 through 20 in his latest mock draft. Stay tuned. Big shout out to each and every person that has made the Locked On NBA Big Board podcast your first listen of the day. I'm your host, Rafael Barlowe. With my co-host for today is my brother, James Barlowe. And this is the second part of a 3-part series where we're covering his latest mock draft. The tiebreakers have been released. So James went on Tankathon and he hit sim. And these are this is the draft order that came up, and I'll go over the draft order in a second. But if you're not subscribed, please subscribe, like, share, comment, and make sure you click the bell so you can be notified every time we drop a post. If you miss the first episode, I mentioned the lack of activity had been due to the unfortunately my wife was diagnosed with breast cancer, so I was in the hospital last week and trying to take care of her and a toddler. So things have been crazy busy. But before I get started, I want to let you know that this episode is brought to you by FanDuel, which is America's #1 sports book. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning guaranteed. That's $150, win or lose. Visit FanDuel.com/locked-on to get started. All right, part 2. Number 1, James had the Detroit Pistons selecting Alex Sarr. Number 2, he had the Washington Wizards going with Nikola Topic. At number 3, he had the Charlotte Hornets going with UConn Stefan Castle. At number 4, he had the Portland Trailblazers going with Ron Holland from the G League Ignite. He had Rob Dillingham going number 5 to the San Antonio Spurs. And then at number 6, he had the Toronto Raptors selecting the second player from the now defunct G League Ignite with Matas Buzelis. At number 7, he had to me the most no-brainer pick of them all, which was Donovan Clingan going to the Memphis Grizzlies, addressing their need for rebounding and size. And then at number 8, he had the Utah Jazz going with Colorado's Cody Williams. At number 9, he had the Houston Rockets adding shooting and backcourt versatility in Reed Shepherd. And at number 10, he suggested that the Atlanta Hawks blow it up, torch the roster, get rid of Trae Young and DeJounte Murray, and draft local guy Isaiah Collier. All right.
Get ready for
number 11, the 11th pick in the 2024 NBA draft based off of the Tankathon sim belongs to the Chicago Bulls. Please tell me you're not selecting a point guard for the Chicago Bulls.
Nah, man, we're good there. We're gonna go with Zaccharie Risacher here at number 11.
My man is falling. I mean, ESPN still has him at number 1. I don't
Look. I told you when we first did the podcast, love the size, love the shooting. Don't really see everything else. No handle, not really creating for himself. Not really a playmaker. Now, I can't take somebody that high, number 1, or even really top 5. It just kind of depends on where the cookies crumble. But he just doesn't do anything but shoot, and he's tall. And I get the upside of that, but I'm not a believer in here's some wiggle, go take it, and you have it. It just doesn't work that way to me. Now, I never thought he would shoot 47% from 3, for the entire. That's hard to do. Yeah. That's not sustainable. But at 6'11", he can play the 4. He should fit alongside because I heard they're going to offer DeRozan 2 years, like $80 million or something like that. It works. You can bring him off the bench if you feel like Patrick Williams is going to ever evolve or turn into the prophecy of Kawhi Leonard. I don't know. But I think he works there in Chicago.
To me, actually, I think this is a better fit for him. I've I've
So
had
you like
some
him in Chicago?
well, I've had some hesitancy about Risacher. I think he's a guy that if you select him number one or two or three, I just think like his flaws are intensified in a sense because the fans are going to be expecting number one, number two pick, number three pick type production. And I don't think he's that type of player. I think that he's best suited as a complementary player. I think that he's
Yes.
a good defender. I mean, he projects to be a good shooter. He's in a crazy slump right now. I want to say over his like the last 11 games, it's like 7.5 points, like 31% shooting, 17% from three. And then he's gotten to the foul line like 17 times in those 12 games, with five of them coming in one game. So it's not like you're getting rim protection or rim pressure when the shot isn't falling. So I do think it will be more beneficial for him, maybe not in the pocketbook short term, but I do think it'll be more beneficial for him to slide because I personally, he's not a number one guy. He's not a
No,
number one
and
guy. I mean, just think about it. If you take him number one in Detroit and he averages 9 points a game as a rookie, they're not going to
you can't
say,
take him in Detroit because look, they're gonna look
I mean, but
no
like they,
disrespect. They'll be like, look at the last French dudes you sent us.
all right,
You
but
know
if
what
you
I'm
you take
saying?
him like, if you take him number one anywhere, I see him as a 8 or 9 point per game player as a rookie. That's giving like big minutes. And I just think once you get to that, once you're selected that high and you're not averaging like 15 to 17 points per game, then the bust label is going to be thrown at you. And then it's just tough to overcome that. So I think falling to number 10 would be the most beneficial for him.
Yeah, I think the way that the lottery works, Detroit can't fall past three, right? Because they had the worst record.
Yep.
So maybe you take him three in Detroit because he fits on paper, he fits a need, but that's going to still be a tough sell for me.
Yeah, no, I think where you got him is fine because I honestly I don't have him in my top 10 on my latest big board either, just because I was hesitant. I've always been kind of hesitant. I've watched him live multiple times. It's not like I've scouted him from watching film or I'm following the leader. I've seen him multiple times with my own eyes. And I mean the shooting that he had earlier in the year was incredible. Don't know if it's
Not
sustainable.
sustainable.
And then when the shot wasn't falling, it just makes me wonder like what what
What does
is
he
he
do?
on the offensive end. And I just have a hard time selecting a wing in the top five that lacks offensive creativity. All right, let's go to number 12. It is the Oklahoma City Thunder. They got another lottery pick. This pick was coming from Houston. I don't remember which trade this was a part of, so I'm guessing Westbrook maybe, or Chris Paul, the Chris Paul trade. But anyway,
Dang, from
Oklahoma
there?
City Thunder at number 12.
All right, so this one here, I'm pretty sure the young fella declared. I think he fits what they're trying to do. They want to play five out, big fella as a guard. I'm still very high on him. I'm going with Kyshawn George here. Yeah.
What's the difference? I'm playing devil's advocate. I'm hater here. Kyshawn
Do it.
George and Usman Jang. What's what like? What's the difference?
One has point guard skills due to a growth spurt, and one is a dude trying to figure out how to play basketball. If that makes
I I
sense.
think I
And
think they're gonna.
Keyshawn George should project to be a high 30s 3-point shooter because he can flat out shoot. And he fits because you don't necessarily he doesn't have to be your primary ball handler, but he's another guy that can handle at 6'7", 6'8". I think Usman Jang is just a project through and through. And he's what, 6'10", 6'11". He doesn't even, he has something crazy where he has like some crazy number of like blocks in X amount of minutes. Like he doesn't block shots at 6'10". Like that's nasty. We can't have that.
I mean, like, does Keyshawn George even crack their rotation?
I don't think Gordon Hayward is coming back. He's got to be on the last couple years of his deal, right? And he's not even really in the rotation. And I also think that what do you do with Josh Giddey long term? I know he's played better since the the case got dropped, but what do you do with him long term? How much do you pay him? They're gonna have to pay ball handling J Dub eventually. They're gonna have to pay Chet, and they're gonna pay SGA. Is he Supermax? Is he on Supermax right now?
Man, he's gonna get 300
He's gonna get all
of
the
them
money he wants.
things. Yeah.
So I'm saying eventually there's not gonna be enough money for everybody, and they've been through this before.
There's a little rumor buzzing on social media that
Mm.
KD might try to close out his career in Oklahoma City. I mean, they got to do something with all those picks. You have to condense all those picks. And
Well, shoot,
KD
if
was
I'm
still
Phoenix, I'm
like
doing it.
27, 6, 5, 52, 42, 80 shooting split, 85 shooting split, something like that. That's just something that I've been seeing. Of course, the rumors spiked when Chet Holmgren was in his latest commercial to promote his new shoes. All right, number 13, Sacramento Kings. Who do you have the Kings selecting?
Ooh. Big riser, Jaylon Tyson out of Cal.
Okay,
Hate on
explain.
it, Rob. I want to hear it.
I mean, I need you to explain the pick first, and then I'll start.
All right. So Malik Monk is set to get paid, right? He basically said, "Hey, man, I got to get paid." Fox basically co-signed, like, "Yo, it's a business." He's not coming back.
Who's gonna pay him?
Jaylon Tyson. Who's gonna pay him? I'd have to
Yeah,
look, but I mean, he should be in the running. I mean, he is in the running for sixth man of the year. Like, you
yeah.
need guys like.
I just don't know
I
if there's a lot of
mean,
teams that have money to spend like that.
I have to look at the calculations, check people's wallets, but I can't imagine him turning down money to stay in Sacramento. Like, he's what, 26? Yeah, he got to get paid, man. This is his opportunity, and he's earned it too. So, Jaylon Tyson, big wing. The Kings need desperately somebody else who can put the ball on the ground and can create a shot for himself. Keegan shows it at times, but it's just not consistent where you want it to be. And
Okay.
the Kings, they got hurt. I mean, obviously Fox got hurt, Herter got hurt, but when Fox is not in the game, who can create a shot? And that's what Malik Monk was doing. I think Jaylon Tyson is proven to be a big time scorer, and also we saw him at Tech in a condensed role, knock down and catch and shoot threes. I think it's a perfect fit. Shoot, he was at Cal. He's already in the Bay Area, man. Just hop in the slab, or hop in the Charger and take care of your business. Go to Sacramento, man. Hate
Well,
on it.
I have an issue for Sacramento to fix one of their problems.
What's that?
It's not going to be a popular decision. I'm blaming De'Aaron Fox. You know why I'm blaming De'Aaron Fox?
Why?
De'Aaron fell in love with the jumper. He worked on his jumper. If I would have told you De'Aaron Fox shot 8 attempts from 3 this year, 7.8. He made 37% of them. But I want De'Aaron Fox getting downhill. I think he's settling for, he's just settling for threes too much. The free throw percentage is about.
Hold on, though, Ralph. Hold on. But he still shot almost 6 a game. He was at 6 a game last year, 6 a game the year before. The highest he shot from free throw attempts.
5 a game. 4 a game, 5, 3, 2.
No. You talking about free throws, or I'm talking about
3-point attempts?
I'm talking about his free throw. His free throw rate is still online.
It's still about the
where
same.
He's always been. It did drop this year, but I mean, I get it. He, especially towards the end of the year when they was trying to fight for that to stay in the play in, he was definitely settling for a lot of threes. But he's still that guy. He's still the dog. You still can't really keep him out the paint.
But I just don't want it to be, next year it goes to 8.5, 9, and next thing you know, De'Aaron Fox is shooting 10 threes a game, and he's scoring the same, but he's just not attacking. I think they're at their best when he's attacking. All right,
I agree with that.
When we return, we're going to talk about pick number 14, which will wrap up the lottery, and then we will go with picks 15, 16, and 17. Mother's Day is coming up, and if you want to make mom smile, you can start Mother's Day with flowers, or you can surprise her with gifts from the brands that she loves, and they can be delivered the same day, the very same day with DoorDash. Now, mom's our gift, so you can gift her the best Mother's Day gift that is as thoughtful as she is with DoorDash. You can select from hundreds of expertly crafted bouquets to the best in tech, to self-care essentials and more, and they will be delivered right to her door. And it is never too late to show mom love this Mother's Day with DoorDash. You can surprise her with flowers, gadgets, and again, self-care essentials all in one place, delivered right to your door. So if your mom has a sweet tooth, or she's a tech enthusiast, she's a beauty connoisseur, she likes the outdoors, no matter what she's into, you can make her smile with fruit or flowers, makeup, tech, workout gear, and more. So get all your Mother's Day gifts all in one place and get 50% off your next order up to $15 when you spend $15 or more on your next flower, convenience, grocery, or retail. So order now at Locked On NBA. That's Locked On NBA. Use DoorDash and the promo code Locked On NBA. Terms apply. All right, next, let's talk about Monopoly Go. Now, I've been told I'm a competitive person, but I don't necessarily need someone to tell me that because I know I'm a competitive person, and I definitely know my brother James is competitive. And if you have a competitive side, you will be a big fan of Monopoly Go. I'm sure you heard of it. It's been downloaded over 150 million times, and it is a great twist on Monopoly where you play not one, but hundreds of Monopoly boards in crazy locations. You can build up amazing cities that bring you money. And the best part is you can play with your friends. You can play with your friends or family. You can charge them rent on iconic properties, just like classic Monopoly. But now you can heist all of their vaults and their riches, and the leaderboards will show you who the biggest Monopoly tycoon is. But it's not just my competitive side that loves it. You can team up with friends and family and people all around the world in time tournaments where you can earn huge rewards. So get in the game and join your friends. Download Monopoly Go, which is now free on the App Store or Google Play. I got a question. I want to know, are you tired of watching Fox Sports or ESPN because you have to turn down the volume because all they're doing is shouting and yelling all day? Well, you can make the switch to Locked On Sports today, a free 24 hours a day, 7 days a week sports streaming channel, which is programmed for you every day to bring you the biggest stories without all of the yelling and screaming. Locked On Sports Today brings you can't miss analysis, opinions, and news, streaming 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on YouTube or the free Amazon Fire TV channels app, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. All right, back on the clock. It is the Portland Trailblazers. You had them selecting Ron Holland at number 4, and this pick is from Golden State at number 14. Who do you have the Warriors select? I mean, the Blazers select.
Get here.
What's that?
How did this pick get here?
I think it was part of the Gary Payton trade, and the Blazers didn't want Wiseman. And I'm sure Golden State didn't think that they were going to be in the lottery. So, yeah, mistakes were made. All right. At number 14, who do you have the Portland Trailblazers selecting?
So you didn't like the Holland pick. You questioned the shooting, right? And I get it.
I was playing the hater role. I didn't say I didn't like it. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Listen here. All right, listen here. To address the hateration, we're going to go with Tyler Smith here.
Okay. All right. Shooter. So, again, I like Tyler, and I'm a Blazers fan. But just for the purpose of this exercise, I'm going to hate for this exercise. Okay. You've added the Blazers who are historically bad.
You trying to say I added 2 losers?
hold on. The Blazers were 21 and 61. And with 2 lottery picks, you selected 2 players that were on a team that was like 3 and 33. Explain that to me in the fan base.
Hey, man. Chauncey Billups won a championship, man. He's supposed to set the culture, man. That's Mr. Big Shot. All right, we were hurt last year.
What does that have to do?
I got Chauncey Billups got to teach him. Chauncey Billups got to teach him how to win, man.
Man, Chauncey
Show him
beat
that ring, wear that ring, man. If he's still there, because I know his seat probably getting warm
Chauncey
too.
Billups' seat is on 85 degrees right now. But he's
Look,
supposed to
we're
lose,
trying
which, I mean, that's crazy. But
exactly. How are you mad at him for?
yeah, it's
Yeah,
just the 260-point losses in a season. That's when people like, hey, you can lose, but you can't lose like that.
Hey, look. They said you wanted him to play Scoot. Y'all wanted to shut down Malcolm Brogdon. That's what happens. I'm not mad at him. Look, it's gonna take. You can't draft. You can't draft a champion here and think it's gonna turn anything around. Like they're not good, man, and they got to get better. And you got to have some talent. All right, Ron Holland has talent. All right, Tyler Smith has talent. He's 6'11" and he can shoot. Scoot needs a pick and pop guy. There you go. If you say Tyler isn't the best rebounder, DeAndre Ayton rebounds.
Okay.
So, and Chauncey Billups not responsible for trading for DeAndre Ayton. The front office did that. So, whether you like DeAndre Ayton or not, that's not on Chauncey. Don't know how you get locked in on an ice storm when they sent somebody to get you and you don't go back with them, but that's a whole other story.
All right. The team that Dame Lillard wanted to go to was the Miami Heat, and Miami's on the clock at number 15. Who do you have Miami selecting
This
at
was a
15?
very tough pick for me, man. I'm not even gonna lie to you. There's the Donovan Mitchell rumors. We'll see how that goes. I'm not a big fan of this young fella right now. Right now, not sound like a hater, but I think you go with Jacoby Walter and hope that he turns out to be a very good 3-point shooter and defender and to fulfill the James Barlowe KCP prophecy.
I mean, I keep seeing the KCP. Like, I think it's just kind of getting redundant.
Who
and,
was the first one to say it though?
I don't know. I've just been seeing it. I've been seeing it
Me.
all over. I've been seeing it all over. One, I don't think he's the athlete as KCP. Two,
Did you think KCP was an athlete coming out of Georgia?
yeah, I didn't think he was a great shooter.
All right, go
So
ahead.
I
When does
think,
KCP use his athleticism outside of banging on Torian Prince the other night?
I mean, that's it. I don't think Jacoby Walter is doing that. So,
I don't. I
I mean,
mean,
like, here's I'm putting on my hater cap here. For Walter, he has the label as a shooter, but he only shot 33% on jump shots overall.
foul merchant.
He draws fouls. He does draw them at a high rate, but 33% on jump shots overall, average 1.4 assists per game playing the wing. Any
I
concerns?
got. I got. Okay, here in Miami, he's playing with Bam. Bam's a great playmaker as a center. Uh, Jimmy's a great playmaker as a wing. Tyler Hero can pass. Rozier can pass. I don't need him to be a playmaker. Does he fit what the Heat does? Probably not. But I feel like the Heat are in a spot right now where they need to infuse some young energy, young talent. Because Jimmy is what, 34? He's cold, but he's 34, and he at this point you want him for the playoffs, not the regular season. Bring in another wing to help. Tyler Hero's been injury prone. You found something in Jaquez. I feel like another wing would be good here.
All right, let's go to pick number 16. It is the Philadelphia 76ers. If you're Philly, who do you add?
He may not like it, but I'm going with Kel'el Ware here.
Okay. I think
And
you're absolutely
he
crazy for not having Kel'el Ware in the lottery.
well,
I just think it's ridiculous.
you can think what you want. I still question him blocking shots. I still have questions about his motor. He could end up being one of the better players from this draft. I feel like this is a good range for where I have him at. Again, it's not about his talent. We know he's talented, but I mean, you talk about Tyler Smith losing, and you talk about Ron losing. Like Indiana wasn't good, and that's not solely on him. But when you got a big man that's what 19 and 10, 18 and 10, like you want him to carry that team. It wasn't like Purdue
Guard
wasn't
play.
beating
16 points a
Purdue.
game. I'm going to round it up. 16, 10, 58% from the floor, 42% from three,
How many attempts?
1.9 blocks.
How many attempts from three?
1.3 a game.
Hey man,
40 attempts from three in 30 games.
let me
So,
ask you a question then, Hater. Where would you say he's a lottery pick? Who do you have? Where did I mess up according to you? Where are you putting him in Oklahoma City?
I mean, I just think like he's like in the draft where it's full of uncertainty. You have a guy that had buzz. If he would have put up the same numbers last year as a freshman, you would have been talking about him as a top 5 pick. He comes back to school, he improves, puts up the
Yes.
numbers that people wanted, and it's
Yes.
kind of like, oh well, he's not the flavor of the month, and people are off of him. The
But it's
dude
not necessarily the
averaged.
flavor of the month. I
I mean,
like him. It's just there's something missing with him that I feel
but I'm
like
saying
that
like
there's missing.
if he, I think the perception is still based off of last year because
Not for me.
16 and 10 and 1.5 blocks. He's shooting. If he at the minimum, he's a vertical lob threat, and if he can space the floor, like this draft is full of uncertainty. So the fact that a guy that was more productive, I mean, we have so many guys in this draft where we're like, oh, well, if he could only shoot, he can't shoot, he can't shoot. Kel'el Ware, based off of, I mean, 1.3 attempts is not a crazy amount, but statistically, outside of Reed Shepherd, he's the best shooter in this class.
All right, so Ralph, you dissing my pick, but I have him as the number two big on the board. It just so happened that he fell to 16.
Yeah, I just like I said in the
Does
draft,
Miami take a big? No.
no, but in
Does
a
Portland take a
draft
big?
full of
No.
uncertainty, I
I'm
think it's
just
hard to
I'm
believe that 16, 10, 58, 42 shooting splits and 2 blocks per game doesn't make the lottery.
all right. So when you okay, and it's not the same player, but when I tell you where I have Kyle Filipowski going, you won't question that because he has numbers, he has college productivity, he has the 3-point percentage in college. But are you a Kyle Filipowski fan?
No, because
Okay. Next pick.
I feel like with Kel'el Ware, you can at least put him in a category as a vertical lob threat at the minimum.
That's fair, but I have him as a second best big in the draft, man. Like you act like I had him going 35.
Hey, I still think it's too low. So that was my hater portion. But go ahead.
Okay.
Why do you have him in Philly?
I mean, Embiid's health is crazy uncertain, man. This man dragging his left leg. There are minutes there as a backup five. You know, Embiid is gonna play, excuse me, 50
58.
games at the max. So there's gonna be 30 opportunities for him to start. You play with my main man Maxey, I'm like, you're good. You'll get 24 minutes. It's gonna even out at the end of the year to 24 minutes a game. You can't ask for anything better than that. And Embiid is 30, bro. Like I'm not hating. I'm not wishing no
On paper,
career-ending
he's
injuries,
30,
but he's
but
always.
in basketball years, those
Oh, he's
knees.
47 in basketball years. So, and what
I
if
I
you
I,
got the center of the future?
I think I know he's listed at 280. I think he's 300. I think Embiid needs to lose some weight and
Demarcus Cousins said the same thing.
yeah. Wow, okay. But no, I think that
I'm
he
just saying
needs
he said the
to.
same thing. Like he needs to lose. Embiid needs to lose weight
Yeah, I think
because
he
that's
needs
why
to
he's
trim
hurt.
down. That losing 25 pounds is not going to, take away from his strength. Whoever
Nah.
Udonis Haslam called when he was in Germany that year, whoever Kevin Love called when he left UCLA, Zion and Joel Embiid need to hit them up and trim down because I think it would be very beneficial for their long-term careers. All right, when we return, we are going to find out who James has at picks 17 through 20. Stay tuned. But It is playoff time, and the NBA and NHL and baseball is in full swing, and FanDuel is your place to bet on every game. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets guaranteed. That's $150 win or lose. You can bet on everything from slap shots to home runs to slam dunks, all on the app that is safe, secure, and easy to use. So what are you waiting for? Visit fanduel.com/locked on and make your first bet an automatic win. FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Next, let's talk about BetterHelp, because sometimes we all need the opportunity to get something off our chest, whether it's big or small. Certain things can really start to get to you, and it is very important to let that out, especially to someone who is unbiased in your life. And therapy can be different for everyone. Most of us have bigger problems than our favorite sports team or who our team is going to draft and failed draft picks. And it's very important to speak to someone who's unbiased. And if you are thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online. It is designed to be flexible, and it is suited to fit your schedule. So visit betterhelp.com/lockedonnba. You can get 10% off your first month. That's better, HELP.com/lockedonnba. All right, last segment, we left off with the Philadelphia 76ers selecting Kel'el Ware. I think Ware should be higher, but I'm against the consensus there. Next up on the clock is the New Orleans Pelicans at number 17. This pick was the Lakers, so I'm assuming this is part of the Anthony Davis trade. Who do you have the Lakers selecting at 17?
The Pelicans.
I'm sorry, the Pelicans selected at 17.
Holmes. I think that's a seamless fit. I know some people aren't as high as me on Deron Holmes, but I'm not some people. I think my man Big JV Kelsey, this is last year on his contract. All right. And, hey, maybe they resign him, maybe they don't. But I feel like Deron Holmes here at the 5 paired with Zion is like perfect, because now that space that you were missing out on with Valanciunas being there, you have with Holmes. I think he can move. I think he can play the 5. I think he can shoot. I think it's a great fit for him in New Orleans.
All right, playing devil's advocate. I like the pick, but playing devil's advocate and hater, does Deron have the bulk to play major minutes at the 5? Is he strong enough to play the 5?
We just saw Chet play the 5 at 190. Deron is what, 220? Yep. It can be done. You're not gonna be able to guard Jokic, fam. AD can't guard Jokic. Jokic moves AD like how I move my daughter. So it's like you can't. That's just an L right there. Okay. Can he bang with Sabonis? I don't know, but hey, there's 3 nights out the year. You know what I'm saying? Where you just be like, all right, man, we in for a tough one. But again, you got Zion back there. So while your 5 has to, your 5 got to deal with Zion all night. So he's gonna be tired. So I think
I think there's more. I mean, even you look at a guy like Zubac. Nobody's game planning for Zubac, but he's given the Mavs some problems in the postseason just because their guys are a little thin, keeping them off the glass. All right. Speaking of speaking of needing a 5, the Orlando Magic. We talked about it off the record, talking about Wendell Carter. You say you think he needs to get out of there, but not saying you're going to have them selecting a 5. But who do you have Orlando selecting at 18?
I'm not going with a 5. I think they need shooting more than a 5.
Oh, definitely. But it was just a transition because we talked about him. We talked about him earlier today.
Yeah, we're gonna go with Jared McCain here. We need shooting bad, man. Like worse than bad. And I know Gary Harris played better the second game, but the first game he was just on a treadmill. And we need shooting. If we're gonna play through Franz, we're gonna play through Paolo, we need shooters. Jerry McCain has a burner, and that we don't need him to be a point guard. He can be a small shooting guard if we got those guys there. Okay, now they do need to figure out what we're doing at the 5, but McCain feels
and the 1
very, very, yeah. McCain feels a need at shooting guard. Maybe you say, Suggs, you go back to playing some point guard. It's gonna
All right,
look different with them. They're gonna play through three, and they're gonna play through their three and their four, so it doesn't have to look what you would think it looks like.
I'm playing my hater role. Why not
Go ahead,
Dalton
Hayden.
Knecht?
I thought about Connect there,
He's
but
plug and
I feel like
play, bigger, more athletic,
I
and
feel like McCain is plug and play there too. And I don't necessarily think you need to get bigger. I think you need shooting. And let's say McCain has something, excuse me, something there uh that you don't see. Like as far as playmaking, rebounding, he showed flashes at Duke, but maybe there's something more. Maybe Anthony Black learns how to shoot enough to start. So then you don't need another big guy. Like I get Connect there and I've had him there in previous mocks previous mocks, but it's just hard to deny Jared McCain. And
all
he's,
right.
he's 4 years younger than Dalton Connect.
All right, at number 19, it is the Toronto Raptors. This pick is via the Indiana Pacers. Pretty sure it's part of the Pascal Siakam trade. Who do you have the Raptors selecting at 19, which is like their
Uh,
second pick out of 31? I think they got like 3 of the top 31 picks.
yeah, this is tough too, man. Again, we're gonna go with another guard here, another wing, excuse me. They probably need another big, but I don't see. No, this is their third pick. This is their second pick. I'm sorry. I don't see the bigs left being what Masai wants. If that makes sense. I'm gonna go with Hunter Sallis here because they're gonna have some issues. I think Gary Trent is a free agent at the end of the year. I want to say he's close. You're gonna have to fill some need in your wing rotation.
Okay, how does Hunter Sallis fit? And are you buying the uptick in shooting?
I'm buying the uptick in shooting because again, that was a huge uptick in attempts. So it wasn't just like he just started shooting a couple shots, and it was the kind of shots he was taking. It was threes off the dribble, step back threes, isolation threes. Like he shot every kind of three. Uh, I feel like he brings combo guard playmaking skills off the bench to Toronto, which would be helpful because then you can sit here and say, all right, quickly, you can play off the ball some in spurts with Hunter, right? Or if we want Hunter to spot up, you can play when Scotty handles the ball. So I think it would work. Uh, yeah, he
All
seems
right,
like a Masai guy more than some of these bigs left in the I have mocked in the first round.
Chompchi. All right. At number 20,
I'm
it
not taking
is the
Chunk.
Cleveland Cavaliers. Who do you have the Cleveland Cavaliers selecting as the last pick in episode 2 of James's mock draft?
All right. So assuming that they, depending on how it goes, they break up the Garland and
How would they break it up?
Donovan Mitchell because you feel like, I mean, the rumors are Donovan Mitchell he's got to be a free agent pretty soon. I mean, the rumors are he's going to leave, and you want to get something for him now. Like I think they're going to have to pick between the two because people are going to say they're too small. I think Donovan should play full time point guard
Yeah, I don't think they're going to
because
break
that
it up
team was.
unless they're forced to break it up. At least not
Well, you're
now.
not going to break it up because you're going to beat Orlando in the first round. But if you would have drew New York and y'all lost, I think you would definitely entertain breaking it up. Like I said, I got to look at
I
Mitchell's
don't think you
contract
break it up
situation.
after 2 years, after 2 seasons, and Garland
You
wasn't
look
all the
at it
way
like this,
healthy. And I think if they were
but
to
they
face
play.
New York, I think New York I mean, New York can defend, but I don't know how how long Brunson can carry those guys. I mean, it can go either way, but
So Donovan has a player option in 2025, 26. The rumors are they're trying to get ahead of that so you don't lose him for nothing. So, with that being said, let's say you end up the Brooklyn rumors or whatever, Miami rumors. I mean, there are rumors everywhere. Like my man Hell Rails. We're gonna go Dalton Connect right here at 20.
okay,
Big
Knecht
wing
slides. A lot
shooter.
of people I've seen him
Yeah.
as high as like number 8. Why does he slide on your board? I mean, is it
I
because of his
mean,
age?
yeah, it's a lot of age. And it's okay. Like it's not for him, it's about going in the right situation, right? And he would work absolutely perfectly if they did split up Cleveland. He worked perfect the backcourt in Cleveland, excuse me. He would work perfectly next to small point guard that can pass with those two bigs behind him. Like, I feel like in Cleveland, it's just, and he can score too. So I feel like it's a perfect match.
Well, that wraps up part 2 of James's mock draft. And if you are tuning in late, let me refresh the picks for you. At number 11, he had the Chicago Bulls selecting Zaccharie Risacher, who is falling. At number 12, he had the Oklahoma City Thunder reaching for Kyshawn George. At number 13, he had the Sacramento Kings selecting Kyle's Jaylon Tyson. At number 14, he had the Blazers selecting Tyler Smith from the G League Ignite. Jacoby Walter from Baylor goes to Miami Heat at 15. At number 16, he had the Philadelphia 76ers selecting Kel'el Ware, which we debated about that. At number 17, he had the New Orleans Pelicans selecting Deron Holmes. At 18, he had Jared McCain from Duke going to the Orlando Magic. At number 19, he had the Toronto Raptors going with Hunter Sallis. And at number 20, this is definitely going to draw a lot of discussion. He had Dalton Knecht falling to the Cleveland Cavaliers at number 20. Once again, it's Rafael with my brother James. Stay tuned for part 3, where we will finish out picks 21 through 30. Stay tuned.